Thank you very much for allowing me this time. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Chairman Cole, Chairman Adderholt, and Ranking Member DeLauro and their staffs for all of the hard work that has gone into this bill. While it purports to cut wasteful and abusive spending with targeted cuts allegedly consistent with the administration's priorities, I have to submit that this is actually just another example of their being penny wise and pound foolish. Therefore, regretfully, I'll have to oppose this measure, and I'm especially troubled by the 50% cut to the Job Corps program, which has long received significant bipartisan support on Capitol Hill for its outstanding track record in providing effective career and technical education to the most vulnerable Americans in our communities. In May, the Trump administration targeted the program for closure. While I'm grateful that the House Appropriations Committee has rejected this drastic step, a 50% cut still would result in the closure of many Job Corps centers, result in the layoffs of Job Corps staff, and place at risk the dreams and aspirations of thousands of promising students. It is vital that we fully invest in Job Corps. For over 60 years, it has paid tremendous dividends in terms of ensuring that young people can become productive members of the labor force and not be reliant on public benefits. I also want to mention my strong opposition to the deep cuts that the Appropriations Committee is proposing for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I'm speaking now not just as an advocate for our nation's public health, but I'm also speaking in my role as the Dean of Georgia's congressional delegation. The CDC is one of the crown jewels of Georgia's economy, and it employs thousands of people in Georgia with a master's degree or higher. With students and researchers coming from across the world to study at Georgia research institutions heavily in partnership with the CDC, this organization contributes to a highly skilled workforce and a research ecosystem. The CDC's vital presence in Georgia stimulates immense economic activity, with every dollar spent generating $2 in economic growth for Georgia. Most of the CDC's budget doesn't stay in Georgia. 80% of its annual appropriation goes to state and local health departments, which mean that any budget cuts will be felt in our own backyards. From reduced disease surveillance to fewer immunizations and less screenings for breast and cervical cancer for constituents of all of the members of Congress all across the country. And it's heartbreaking to see the damage that the Trump administration and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. have wreaked upon the CDC over the last few months. The firings of high-profile resignations of top CDC leadership, the departure of experienced health professionals, the politicization of scientific guidance, and now the 23% cut in CDC budget as proposed do not bode well for our nation's ability to respond to current emerging public health threats at home and abroad. President Kennedy, LHHS Secretary Robert Kennedy's uncle, once said that the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Sadly, that's a lesson that he and the House Appropriations Committee appear to have forgotten. We don't want to wait for another pandemic to begin to make investments in our public health infrastructure. We want to do it now when the conditions are favorable so that we're not caught unprepared. I also strongly oppose the amendment that would make cuts to the Department of Education Title I funds. These vital funds, which are cut by $3.78 million from fiscal year 25 levels, help ensure that all children, regardless of their income or status, receive high-quality education. There's a profound need in our country to close this gap, particularly in rural communities. These funds are critical to ensuring that there are enough well-prepared teachers to support the services in these schools. I I hope that the Appropriations Committee will reconsider these unwise cuts into all of these programs that will have an adverse impact on the health care, the education, the workforce development, and the overall economic well-being of the American people. Until then, I urge my colleagues to oppose this bill. I yield back.